all, guys?
Yes.
Okay, and here are your basic needs. That's, I haven't gone over that yet. So this is the only thing that's really unknown to you so far, and maybe some of the directions. Okay? This week, we're going to be dealing with directions and the time more. Okay, so that we can get this covered while you're taking the test. While everybody else is finished, because we're not done, everybody finished take the test. You look surprised. You thought because did you get over there? Oh, so yeah, well then you still got it. No, we ain't forget it. See, testing like this is better than written tests. You know why? Everybody's jaw gets checked. Okay? Everybody gets, no one gets out. He gives you his individual attention, listens to you, and corrects you where you're at. He's a native speaker. You're not losing anything. You guys get my point? People pay. I remember I was gonna get my wife a Turkish teacher last year, okay, to help her. They wanted like $200-something like an hour. Okay, yeah. They are. They're really, to get you to the level where you want to get. So don't underestimate the type of one-on-one attention that you're getting when you sit down with the Shaikh and he sits down with you for 10, 15 minutes going over and making you say things. Pay attention to what he's saying to you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm saying this because everybody should have this in their mind so that you should be going over these things. Now, we haven't really gone over the body parts either. Let me put a mark here. We haven't gone over this. We still have to deal with this and this and halfway this. Let's say halfway this. Okay? But besides that, I'm going to take a picture of this so I can make sure that, what's that? Okay, shukran. But I want you guys to soak this up right here. Okay? Now remember, education here is not just what we're doing in class. You have to change the way you think. You have to change the way you eat. You have to change the way you sleep. You get my point? No. In order to get this. And you have to understand that as you are doing this, your enemy's doing this too. No. Okay, for an opposite reason. No. Mm-hmm. And that's important for you to understand. Okay? That this is important. So, alhamdulillah, this is just A1. Please have the discipline to restrict yourself to A1 education. That being done, by December, we should be done. Now, does that mean you're going to be the expert of all experts?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
But look,
you're expert in that, in
right.
A1.
This you should be expert in. What does that mean? That means if you meet anybody who speaks Arabic and they say, hey, man, what's your name? You can tell what your name is. You can talk about yourself, and we can build on this foundation. You get my point? And building on this foundation is snowballing. That's what I call it. Because now you come to class and you start A2 happens so fast you're in B1. Because really what we cover in A2 is like reasoning. You go just more. Let's say, okay, I'm hungry. Well, why are you hungry? Because, because, I just got off the flight, now you get past tense, past tense and present tense and all this other stuff. Now you say, okay, I can handle that now because you have a basis here. Right? We didn't talk about, this is when you say, how do you say that? It was given. You don't say that in A1. Aydan natabtu. Now, Aydan, and in A2, yes, we'll be writing in Arabic.
Oh, A2.
A2.
Okay.
Not in A1. A1, we're talking. Okay? Follow me, everybody? Follow me. Alhamdulillah.
I just want to, can I say something? Because I was looking into the program, what you were saying, the European method.
Okay.
The A1,
no,
A2.
The standard. They have a standard.
The standard. Well, exactly what you were saying, I was looking online, and it was exactly what, because some people say, well, why are you not writing Arabic? But the A1, people don't start with that. That's kind of like, you don't write at all. You just really focusing on speaking. Is that?
Well, again, a lot of people ask questions to me about Arabic, right? They come and they say, okay, Arabic, you're known for Arabic. Number one thing, the mistake is they think that that's what all we do. They think you're thinking Arabic, they think that's what it is. The only reason we studied Arabic, well, two reasons. Number one is because I didn't trust Arabs, okay? When I first came in and started to learn about Islam, I said, I don't want the same thing that happened to me that happened in Christianity, where someone else is telling me what this means, and I have no idea whatsoever to know if it's truthful or not. Does that make sense? Yeah. And the Arabs that I knew were from Brooklyn, and they weren't very good examples. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I wanted to know for myself. The second reason is because it was a prerequisite to usul al-fiqh. Okay, and then on to tafsir. So we haven't even gotten to what we really focus on. But because it was a prerequisite, you had to get a master's or a PhD in Arabic language before you could move to that next stage. I say that to say that what I am giving you is not necessarily how I was trained, but how I would have liked to have been trained. Because it didn't exist when I went through it. Everything was, there was no internet when I went to Mauritania and did, well it was, but it was new. Only those whiz kids had that stuff. That's what they called them, right? I call them hackers. You know, stuff breaking up the TV and all that other stuff and doing that stuff. They did that. Otherwise, we didn't have that stuff, and there wasn't things online that you can get. Nothing was translated. So the work that I put into presenting this program is from my years of thinking about how can I present this to Westerners. Now, some people may not appreciate it or may underappreciate it and may not understand it. But that's one of the fitness of the dunya. Remember the 4 fitness that we learned in Surah Al-Kahf? Musa knew that Khadr was more knowledgeable than him. Who told him? Allah. Allah told him. But still he questioned Khadr left and right. Right? Even though he went and begged to follow Khadr. Right? Literally. The same thing happens here. They say, okay, I want to follow your program, but they're going to nickel and dime you on their involvement, their commitment. And they're going to say, well, why are you doing this and that? And our response is the same as Khadr. Ride or roll. I don't mean it in an ugly way. But that's the only thing that the teacher can do. That's what Allah teaches us in the Quran. Because otherwise you got to sit there and explain every move you make. You can't move forward. You get my point? So what I do, because I want you all to be educated, throughout the lesson I give you educational tools, because I try to make this like we used to have back at the turn of the century in the slavery reconstruction, where the colleges were initially what? Teaching colleges, right? And so I make the flavor here a teaching college. So all a student has to do is come and follow and look it up and do your research, do your due diligence. I make a mention of something, go look it up yourself. You will see that I have told you exactly or even more than what you'll find in those particular things. And I've streamlined it so that you can win. Does that make sense? Yeah. Inshallah ta'ala. So I don't expect you not to go and do your own research. But I do not want to come and have to wrestle you down to do the work. You get my point? No. Does that make sense, everybody? Yes. Okay, alhamdulillah. And it's because it takes away from those students who are just ready to go. No. You know, and they're ready to get it, inshallah.
I was just confirming what, what
No, I'm glad you did. I'm not saying, I was just responding to some of the things that you said.
Because I had never heard, a lot of us, I personally had never heard of that,
But that's good. I tell people all the time, again, no offense. But if you come to class and you learn something you never heard before, good. That's why you came to class. Learning something. Yeah. Right? You've learned something. Something's been made clear. It's not necessarily your job to know that, is it? It's my job as a teacher of Arabic to know how to teach the Arabic and what steps to take and what to give you first. And I clarify because I know that we have students like Dr. Yusuf or yourself who know Arabic, okay? Who know some Arabic, but for the most part, the education has been broken up and there's been time between one class and one instructor and another. So there's some things in B2 but there are the basics some holes in A1. So yeah, you might be able to go through A1 in a week. But am I teaching just Dr. Yusuf?
No.
No, so I put Dr. Yusuf off on the side in order, and he has to suffer, and he shows great resilience and diligence to keep coming to the class, where half the stuff he already knows, or more, because of the greater good, and this is from the adab of the talib al-ilm, the teacher, to take care of the needs, the general needs of the majority. The needs of the majority outward, and this is the difference between Islam and democracy. What is it called? Democracy. The rights of the individual in democracy outweigh the rights of the individual. Where in Islam, the rights of the group outweighs the rights of the individual. So we do for the general good of most of the people. And so then when everybody gets up here, then we can move forward. Does that make sense? And going over the basics doesn't kill it. It only makes you stronger. Does that make sense? All right. I'm sorry.
Yo, stop.